I understand you've been thinking about starting beekeeping. If you're watching this video, you are probably. Well, I'm just kind of cleaning up here, getting ready to go into the bees. Kind of clean this area because, well, that's just what I do. Let's get started here. I'm Richard, and I'm a beekeeper for 5 years, 6 years. 6 years now. Started 2019, got the idea in 2018. When I got the idea was about this time of year, so it was a good time to start. So let's talk about it. I've got about 5 different things I can go over today, and maybe we'll get into bees and inspect them. Show you what it's like to be a beekeeper. But before we get started, I just want to say I'm Richard. Been keeping bees for about 6 years, and the first thing we're going to do is talk about smokers. That's one of the important tools we have. Now, this is not necessarily in any particular order, but it is one that I use a lot. So the first thing we got is, this is more of a professional one. If you're going to have 3 to 5 hives, then you could probably get along with this one here. But if you're going to have more than that, you're going to want a smoker that lasts a little longer. And if you think you might in the future need to have a smoker that's the larger size, more professional, then I would go ahead and get it, because it's probably about $10 or more. That'll save you in the future. Because one thing you don't want to do is be inspecting about 5 or 6 different hives, and you have a smoker to go out, and you have to go find some fuel on a rainy or cloudy day that you never know what's going to happen. So let's start with a smoker, and I'm going to start with my larger one. Basically, what you want to do is get something started at the bottom. So generally, I'll take a little bit of newspaper, or in this case, I'm going to just stick some pine needles in there that I've gathered up. I'll strike the match and see if we can't get it going. Sometimes if you just drop the match in, it's not going to work. So you want to start your fire. Look at that. It's going to work fine. Now, in order to help this along in the event that it doesn't work so well, I usually have some little toilet paper rolls. And then my fire is working here, so I can just stick that in there, and that'll catch fire. And hopefully, I'm watching. Yep, it went out. Or it did it. No, it's still burning. So now we've got to start. The toilet paper roll acts as a little chimney, so I really like those to start my smoker with. So we got a good little flame going there, and so we can now, just for the fun of it, add another toilet paper roll, a little more chimney. Ooh, smoking right in my face. So now we got a good fire going, kind of a base. So now there's other things we can do. We take little sticks in here from rotting wood, and that's a good base too. Pine needles. Pine needles a favorite smoker fuel because it works really well and usually available. Sorry about the airplane. You know, back when I moved here, when I built this house, there weren't any airplanes. If you saw an airplane, it was really unusual. But population has changed. People have been moving up into this area, and we have a lot more people moving in the neighborhood. There were only about 3 houses here when I moved, and now there's like 20. So as you can see, my smoker's doing well here, and that's really all it takes. Now you can use pellets or something like that, or more wood like this. But you got to be careful, because you don't want your fire to be too hot, because you don't want to burn the wings on your bees, or the bees themselves. So you back this pretty good, And that's going to last probably 2 or 3 hours, as long as you don't stuff it too tight. If you stuff it too tight, or if your pine needles are wet, it could go out. Another thing is you want to start your smoker where you're not being in danger of starting a fire outside of your smoker. But you can see this smoke is doing really good. And I can put my hand right in. It's only warm. A little bit moist even. So there must be a little bit of moisture in these pine needles still. That'll last all day. Well, at least for what I'm going to do. And you just put it like that. And you're done. The same thing with this little one, same principle, works just fine. The next tool I want to show you is a hive tool. Now there's 2 different kinds that I have. This is what I got originally. You can see the little hook here. It's for getting in between frames, and I'll show you how that works when we go into a hive a little bit later. This one here I like a little better. I like this hook here. It's a little, I don't know, it's just a little bit longer. It gets a little further, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it gets a little further under the frame, so it's easier to pull it out. Yeah. Another tool would be your bee brush. That's for brushing the bees off of your frames if you want to see what's going on there. And I don't often use the brush because I can just shake them off, or if I'm going to do some honey harvest, then I might brush them off, just the last few after I've shook them off. Another tool we're going to have is your bee jacket, or your bee suit, or just a veil. It all depends on what you want, how your comfort zone is. Mine is, I need a jacket and a veil. So I put this on like this, and zipper it up, and then if I'm real comfortable, that's probably all I need. But some days, like today, I'm going to be a little more deep in the hive, so I'm probably going to wear the next tool, which is the gloves. A lot of people who've been beekeeping for years and years and years don't use gloves because it's more easy to get to the frames, lift them out. And the thing is, they do get stung. And I don't like getting stung because, well, when I first started, I would swell up like crazy and be 5 or 6 days of itching. I've gotten more immune to that, so I can get stung now and then. And that usually happens when one gets on my outside of my bee suit and I take it off, and the bee discovers that, hey, here's open flesh. So anyway, when I'm reaching down in the beehive, I generally want to have a pair of gloves on. I'm just that way, and maybe one day I'll get over that, but 6 years in, I still don't like getting stung, and I don't get stung near as much as a commercial beekeeper does. Even now, if I get stung, it probably lasts, the pain lasts maybe an hour, and not very much, and then I'll swell up a little bit, and sometimes not so much, depending where I got stung. If it's on my fingers, well, it's probably not going to be hurting much. But if I get on my underarm, or if they crawl up my pant leg, well then, yeah, that's going to stick around for a few days, and I don't like that. So I just now pumped up the smoker a little bit. As you can see, we've got plenty of smoke yet. Just need to do that every 15-20 minutes. If you're not using it, that'll keep the fire going if you've got a good stuffing of pine needles in there. Another tool we'll need is a mite test. This is a little container, a Varroa Mite Easy Check, and I'm not sponsored by this, but it's got a little container here where you put some alcohol in the bottom, you scoop up a half a cup of bees, and you drop this in here and cover it up before they can fly away. And you cover it up and then you shake it for, I think it's 1 minute. I can't remember right now. I think it's a minute. I'm not going to be doing that today unless I actually find a queen and I decide that's what I want to do. But every once in a while you need to check your bees for Varroa mites. That's number one killer of bees, right along with starvation if you don't have enough food in there for them. If they've got enough honey, you have to give sugar water. And usually that's a mix of 1 to 1. 1 part of water and 1 part of sugar. That's another video we'll talk about one day. So let's go get into bees. Sure enough, my microphone wasn't on, so I'm going to do this over again. This little hive is a split that I made, a walk-away split about June 1st, I think it was. And I came back around, say, June 15 and looked in again and didn't see any activity towards the queen, so we're going to assume that she was on her mating flight. But just in case, I put in some brood, an extra frame of brood in there, open brood that they can make a queen from if they wanted to. Now the other thing is, I put a frame of good honey in there to make sure they had plenty to eat. I didn't fill up the sugar feeder, had that honey in there. What eventually I want to do is have this a double deep hive for winter. So today I'll decide whether I want to put another super on here and make it a double deep. But for now, we're just going to see what's going on. So let me get my smoker. Now, a while ago, I showed you that the smoker, how to start it. As you can see, it's still going good almost 2 hours later. So let's give them a little bit of smoke. You don't need much. Again, this is a cool smoke. It's not going to be very much smoke at all. It gives them a time, to little 30 seconds or so to think about it and say, hey, is the place on fire or what? So I think they're ready now. Let me see what they look like. Oh yeah, they're kind of way inside or flew away, so let me open it up. Oh boy, it's packed. That's good. So, yeah, I think we're going to be good here. Now, will we see a queen? Will we see brood? All we need to do is see brood. We'll give them a little bit more smoke. So, I'm going to start on this side because this is the side that just had drawn comb on it, and I don't want to be squashing the queen because she's likely in the middle or on the other side if we have a queen. So far, there's nothing there. However, there is some nectar in here. So they've been drawing on nectar last few weeks. That's good. Let me see if I don't think the queen's going to be here, but I'm going to take a little better look. Mostly because I'm on camera. Because I think what I'm going to find is that there might be a little brood in there and then I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, this looks good. So we'll just set that aside for now. Now we want to do this if we're not touching anything at all that it doesn't have to. So we make it where you just put it on the edge. So that's not disturbing the bees at all. They don't even know what's going on yet. So here we go one more time. This one's got some more in it too. Yeah, they've been bringing in some pollen, even in the dearth we've been having. So that's good. Ever so gently. Now, I've got enough out here that I don't have to hang it to the side or anything. Again, they're putting in a lot of nectar in there. So it's growing. And I'd say by now, we're about 70% full on this 8-frame hive. There's 2 ways I can go. I can make it a 10-frame, add 2 more frames to it, give them a little more room. Or, uh-oh, what's that? Well, I thought for a minute it was nectar. For a minute there I thought it was some brood, but no, it's not. Look on the other side. Yeah, they're really packing this thing in. It's going good. So we have the sourwood coming in shortly. So that should keep them going. So I think I can put a second deep on here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put another deep on here. Make sure they have room. Now it takes 16 days to raise the queen. from the time the egg is laid. Oh, there's a lot of pollen in here. The egg had been laid about 4 days when I put that frame in here. So we still have time. They might make a queen. Okay, this is the one. Now if I open this up and saw a lot of drone brood, then we'd have a laying worker. So this one here is the one I put in with the brood in it. Most of it's already hatched out, and I'm not seeing any new brood. So I'm thinking we'll let this go another week and see what's going on then. If they don't have a new queen by then, or I don't see evidence of it, I have to start thinking about getting a new queen. Oh, whoa, whoa, what's this? I got a full frame of brood here. Now I don't see anything new, but that's encouraging. Maybe this is the one I put in there. I don't know. But I don't see any queen cells, so that indicates to me that maybe there was a virgin queen in here, and just now she's on her mating flight. Who knows? We're still a little early yet, so we'll see. I like this. This looks really nice. Now see, that bee would have stung me probably. I probably squashed her a little bit. I don't think so. Oh, that's heavy. That's that honey one. Yeah, that's doing good too. So far we don't have a queen. But I think we've got a 70% full brood chamber here. So now what I want to do is add another deep body so they can work on that. It won't give them any desire to swarm, which they probably won't anyway because they don't have anything to swarm with yet. I don't think that'd be what they'd be doing anyway, but I don't want to take any chances. So we set that all together nicely. And one more thing I want to do when I'm thinking about it is just pull this reducer out. And it's just got enough room for one bee space. And I can't even get it in there. So I'm going to see if I can't work it out another way. Oh, I broke it. Oh well. Well, that'll give them plenty of space. Good. I know. Looks like I'd already repaired that once. Well, they have plenty of room now to fly back and forth. So let me put another super on there. Here's another tool we use. This is a queen excluder. But at this point, I don't want to use it. So there's another bonus tip. This is something that you don't think about when you're buying bees. Well, am I going to need this? Oh, I don't know. So it's, you buy the hive, and then you buy the tools, you buy the bees. Pretty soon you're in debt for, you know, $20,000 like me. Or more. But I'm making mine back now because I'm getting honey and I'm selling bees. So I just happen to have a hive body here, right close by. And I think up here I've got another hive, I've got some frames. So let me just see. Why, yes I did. So I've got 6 regular frames, and they're undrawn. So one of them is a drone frame. I don't want that. I don't want that at this point. So I'm going to put these in here. I'm going to go get some more and put in. Let's see, I got 5, I need 3 more. Well, we're in luck. I found 5 frames of drawn comb. So that means I need 3 of these. I'll put them on the outside. That'll give bees an opportunity to work. But you can see this is foundation. Nothing there, just foundation. Plastic foundation, wax coated. But these are ones that they've already drawn out from another hive. That'll save the bees a lot of work. So they'll go right to work on this, I'm pretty sure, especially as this sourwood flow comes on. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames in there, and we move them to the middle, and we're good to go. There's a little wax on this I'm going to scrape off. Now the bees will have an opportunity there. Just go ahead and get right started on it, filling it up. Put this back on. It's empty. This feeder is empty, but since they're bringing in their own stuff, really don't need it. So the bees have brought this in, and they've got most of the bottom super full, and now they have 5 frames of drawn comb and 3 frames of undrawn comb. That'll give them something to do until we get back here and check in a couple of weeks. I have a couple more hives to check. I'll do that before I go. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It encourages me to make more videos. Yay!